I had wanted to show you a MUGA scan, typical MUGA scan, what it looks like. I'm up in the lab, I'm at the computer. We're going to select the middle one. Down here, we're going to select the 45 LAO and then hit load. Well, that was quick. Okay, there's a MUGA scan right there for you. You can see a beating heart. The computer figured out the end diastole frame and circled the left ventricle. Notice the separation between the left ventricle and the right ventricle. It was easy for us to circle. The computer circled this time. The ES was circled. The ejection fraction was put up as 76%. And looking and eyeballing this picture, our cine movie, yep, you can see how well it is contracting. Whenever a MUGA is done and EF is done, there is a curve that comes out. A beautiful curve, looks just like this one. You want it nice to go out this way. This means that the activity is doing very well. If you had something that came down and rushed up fast or came up slowly, that would not be good. And I talked to you a little bit about the phase and the amplitude. This is what the pictures look like. The phase lets the doctors know like when things come into the heart versus when it had come out, and that the phase histogram comes up, and also the ejection rate, regional ejection rate, just shows you that this circle here, as you notice, is the same circle that is up here around the end diastole frame. In nuclear medicine, pretty much everything is laid out for you this way. I'm going to try and redraw that ejection fraction region of interest. Note that this one here is the ES. This is the ED, so this is the one I'm going to try and redraw. You have to click in particular way with this computer, trying to keep as close as you can, but you don't want to get into the ventricle itself. And then I'll hit the mouse on this one to make sure that it accepts it. It'll draw it all the way through. And now that I have redone the ED on that, you can see now the ejection fraction is 80%. Let's go and do the ES. The ES frame here, it's in the middle. Going to click around, make sure that you try and stay as close as you can without going into the ventricle. Sometimes it's harder to see exactly where the ventricle is at. I'm going to use my mouse to finish it off, and I got an EF of 82. Same picture beating, just the regions of interest have been done a little differently. Going to go over, we're going to take a look at the background. When we draw the background on a MUGA, you want to go down towards the bottom of the left ventricle, somewhere where there's not a lot of activity. Background is just background. Usually we do like a little teeny boat type of thing. I'm going to put my finger down on that right key on the mouse to click it off. And now that I have redone the background, the EF is now 79%. So you can see when you're processing these MUGAs, you have to be very careful. You could actually make someone, heart look a little lower with the ejection fraction. You can make it look a little higher with the ejection fraction. So you have to be very careful. You have to be consistent. Again, when it first came up, we saw what the ejection fraction was. I reprocessed the different areas, and it's all about the same. And we can see that the heart is beating very, very well. And that's a basic MUGA scan, how to process. And here we are.